Hey, Coach, on those, the Siakam dunk and then the three-pointer, it seemed like there was a mix-up in the pick-and-roll coverage with Dot and Marcus Morris. What happened there?
Well, I'll have to go back and look at it again to know exactly where it went. We just came up a little shallow on the three, and then I think he split us. He got too deep on the dunk, and we couldn't recover. So, we had our coverages going through, and I just think, we came up a little shallow, and then he got too deep. He got past us where he kind of broke the coverage.
I guess the plan going into defending the pick and roll in that scenario, do you want them switching, or do they make the call?
Depends who it is. You have to play, it depends. There were different coverages for all the guys. So, yeah.
If you want them switching, if Siakam was...
It depends where he was at and what it was. So when you play a team like Toronto, you have to prepare for what Gasol does, because it's different. So you have to have your coverages for him, and you have to have your coverages when it's Siakam, when Siakam's handling, or if Siakam is screening. It's a little different that your big is in the ball screen. So so you got to be careful. You can't switch a little guard onto him, and he's going to take him downhill. So you've got to prepare, and that's why they're difficult to play, because they're versatile and they do some things. He's a unique player, and how they're using him in those things.
Coach, you often talk about taking something away from the opponent. Down the stretch, were you trying to take away the pick and roll, which was working for him?
Well, I thought we did a pretty good job down the stretch. I think when we got back in the game, I think we got like 4 stops in a row where they hit the roller and we covered the rim, and Ibaka missed 1 or 2, maybe 3, and somebody else missed 1. So I thought we did a pretty good job in there covering it. And again, we're talking about a lot of plays. So as we come down to it.
Coach, early in the game, you had Dot and Reggie in there at the same time. What were you trying to do with that lineup?
I'm trying to think at what point that was. We got off to a good start, and then they went to a zone, and we had 3 or 4 possessions, I think, in there that we didn't score. So we were really trying, because they were trapping us and how they were playing. We were trying to keep guys on the floor that could stretch the floor and make some shots. So we were conscious tonight of trying to keep some 3-point shooters out there together.
Coach, what do you take out of these last couple of games against great teams and a good effort, and you guys are in games at the end? What can you take out of it positively?
I think we're playing a competitive level of basketball. And when you play a competitive level of basketball, they come down to the final plays, and we've got to get better at making those plays. We've had a lot of close games. You can go back over whatever the last, I don't know how many games, and there have been a lot of close ones in there. We've come out on top of some, and we've come up short on some. So I hope in all of those situations we're learning how to handle the situations moving there. We're a lot sharper as we get into it. And again, that's what I told the guys. We got to make another play. That's where we're at right now. We got to make another play when we get down to it, and then instead of, we tie it late and we get a stop, and then we go to the next play. So it's just making that next play, I think, right now, because we're putting ourselves in a good position. The effort's great. These guys are fighting. We got down. They came right back. Did a lot of good things. We got a lot of positives that we can look at. We want to take the next step.
I think Damian was 7 for 10, and the last 2 games prior to this one, he seems to shoot it pretty well. And obviously RJ's out, but the way he's playing, do you almost have to find minutes for him even when RJ comes back into the lineup?
Well, I mean, guys, I think you can probably see as you watch it, when the guys are really playing well, they're playing. So we find the minutes where the guys that need to be playing, and as they're out there playing, Dot's playing well. So I think he went the whole 4th quarter. I don't think he came out. It was a point we were looking at. Well, it's time for him to take a break, and he was playing well, and we went with it.
Did you want to see him get a touch late in the 4th? Because I can't remember exactly when his last shot was, but it seemed like the last few minutes he didn't get a ton of touches.
Well, the way that he got his shots tonight were off passes and spray outs from the weak side or from the paint. That's where he got all of them. None of his shots really were off of just some set play that he got it. It was off an action where he was on the backside, somebody attacked the paint, drew everybody in, and kicked out. That was really what he was doing. So we had him on the weak side a lot. So he would be in a position to try to get some of those spray outs.